Welcome to Africa 24. In this new edition of your magazine, Morocco Africa, we bring you a 360-degree perspective on the Royal Atlantic Initiative built on order, stability, connectivity, and shared prosperity. We also explore the ambitions of the OCP Group, the world's leading phosphate producer, a profile of Morocco's Minister of Economy and Finance, Nadia Feta Alaoui, insight into Attijari Wafa Bank with consolidated equity of 80.5 billion dirhams in 2025, an exclusive interview with Nassim Belkayat, founder and CEO of Neo Motors, Morocco's 100% homegrown car manufacturer, and finally a postcard from Cassablanca, the economic and industrial heart of Morocco. Driven by development vision centered on solidarity, connectivity, and shared prosperity across the continent, the Royal Atlantic Initiative is part of ongoing geopolitical transformations. It represents a major opportunity for landlocked countries in the Sahel-Saharan region to gain access to the Atlantic coast. The stakes and strategic importance of this initiative are detailed in this report.
The issue of access to the sea is a major structural challenge for landlocked countries, particularly in the Sahel-Saharan region, in an international context marked by the growing centrality of maritime areas in global trade and geopolitics. Opening up these countries to the Atlantic Ocean appears to be a strategic prospect for economic transformation. It is in this context that the Moroccan Royal Initiative for Atlantic Africa aims to promote enhanced regional cooperation and shared growth. While the Mediterranean coastline is a link between Morocco and Europe, the Atlantic coastline is Morocco's gateway to Africa and its window to the American continent. That is why we are working to upgrade the national coastline, including the Atlantic coastline of the Moroccan Saharan, and to organize this geopolitical space at the African level. The aim of the Royal Initiative for Atlantic Africa is to consolidate security, stability, and prosperity over the 23 African states bordering the Atlantic, while providing vital maritime access to Sahel countries such as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Chad. Launched to structure the Atlantic geopolitical space, it focuses on modern infrastructure such as ports, roads, railways, and gas pipelines to promote regional integration and sustainable co-development. The Royal Initiative for Sahel countries' access to the Atlantic goes far beyond geopolitical opening up, and as the minister said yesterday, it goes far beyond access to Moroccan ports. It embodies an economic diplomacy of action geared towards connectivity, diversification, and regional integration. By opening up new avenues of access to global markets, it creates an African space for trade, prosperity, and shared stability. Faced with an infrastructure deficit of nearly $100 billion per year in sub-Saharan Africa, Morocco is providing concrete solutions. This dynamic, which brings hope to 85 million people in the Sahel-Sahara region, is based on large-scale projects. These include the commissioning of the port of Dakhla in 2028 and the construction of the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline, two major drivers of regional synergies. It is a solid project with macroeconomic components that demonstrate its profitability and feasibility. From there, we also launched all the onshore and offshore monitoring studies and environmental impact studies that are important to finalizing the financing studies. With the longest coastline in Africa stretching over 3,500 kilometers, Morocco, Africa's fifth largest maritime power, stands out as a country with strong maritime potential. In addition, Atlantic Africa is full of enormous opportunities, with the coastlines representing 23 countries, 46% of Africa's population, 55% of the continent's GDP, and 57% of African trade.
A global leader in phosphate production, holding 68% of the world's reserves, estimated at 74 billion tons, the OCP Group is responding to growing demand for fertilizers by targeting a production capacity of 20 million tons by 2027. The following report takes a closer look at OCP strategies for sustainable agriculture and global food security.
With 68% of global reserves amounting to 74 billion tons, the OCP Group stands as a key player in global agriculture. Today, the company is preparing to scale up its production with the goal of reaching 20 million tons by 2027. The
groupe
OCP
centenaire
Group is a century-old
et nous
company, and
préparons
today we are
aujourd'hui
preparing for the
le
next
siècle
century.
suivant.
We want
Nous
to
voulons
still be
encore
here
être
in a
dans un
100
siècle.
years, but
Et
that
ça demande
requires
un
a
effort
special effort and a special
spécial et une
vision.
vision
That is why I
spéciale.
truly welcome the
Et c'est pour
spirit of
ça
saying that when we achieve
que je
success, we
salue
celebrate it.
véritablement
We have
l'esprit
brought
de dire
something unique
nous
to our
avons un
fellow
succès, nous
citizens.
le célébrons.
This expansion is not only economic, it is part of a sustainable approach with innovative technologies that help reduce environmental impact while maintaining high yields in the fields. These investments translate into more efficient and environmentally friendly fertilizers.
Fertilizer accounts for about 50% of food production. That's a positive way to view it. The other way is that without fertilizer, we could only feed half the world population. So they play a critical role in plant and soil health, not only the quality, but also the productivity of the arable land that we use to feed ourselves.
From Morocco to the rest of the world, phosphate remains at the heart of food and environmental challenges. In the fields, this investment translates into more efficient and environmentally friendly fertilizers. Committed to the ecological transition, the OCP group is also focusing on more environmentally responsible industrial processes as well as renewable energy. Today is not just about meeting needs or substituting electricity purchased from the grid. We are also trying to support emerging demands, particularly seawater desalination. Desalination is energy intensive. To give you an idea, producing 1 cubic meter of desalinated water through reverse osmosis requires 3 to 3.5 kilowatt per hour of electricity for the reverse osmosis process and a similar amount to transport the water from the coast to the Corrigas site. Because there is an elevation difference of about 800 meters, we are trying to support the emergence of these new needs. We are adopting an approach that allows us to provide capacity throughout the development of demand. By aiming for 20 million tons by 2027, the OCP Group confirms its position as the strategic giant in the global phosphate market while supporting food security and sustainable agriculture. From Morocco to the rest of the world, phosphate remains at the heart of food and environmental challenges. The OCP Group intends to remain a key pillar of this transition. In the face of the resurgence of security crisis, political tensions, and economic vulnerabilities affecting more than 30 African countries, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, praised Morocco's role in championing African causes. He described the kingdom as an anchor country for stability and crisis management on the continent, highlighting its constant commitment to peace and African cooperation. The Kingdom of Morocco is a key player and, as I have said before, it is an anchor country for all continental issues. We are all aware of the Kingdom of Morocco's role in supporting African causes, particularly in terms of security and peace building in countries facing crisis. The country has strongly supported food security in Africa by supplying 4 million tons of fertilizers suited to local soils between 2023 and 2024, thereby improving agricultural productivity. Significant efforts have also been made in the area of human capital. Over 5,000 senior officials from 30 African nations have been trained. Furthermore, Morocco is contributing to education by hosting 25,000 students from 47 African countries, the majority of whom receive financial assistance through the EMCI, thereby strengthening skills across the continent. His Majesty the King is following and appreciates the actions taken as well as the significant progress made particularly by the organization's president in the context of implementing the African agenda, and Morocco is also ready to continue supporting the initiatives of the African Union and the entire African continent. As part of efforts to strengthen African energy integration, the Morocco-Nigeria gas pipeline project is a major strategic initiative linking 13 West African countries with an expected impact on securing energy supplies, regional integration, and strengthening interconnections between states across the continent. We were also able to share our views on the prospects for the African Union Commission and highlight ways of achieving a continent's objectives. Africa, at this stage, must therefore take a stance on global issues. Through all commitments, Morocco has established itself as a key player in African cooperation within a continent comprising 55 member states of the African Union, committed to a process of stability, development, and sustainable integration.
At the helm of Morocco's Ministry of Economy and Finance since 2021, Nadia Feta Alaoui oversees the country's fiscal and financial policy. The first woman to hold this strategic position, she was named Best Finance Minister in 2025. Under her leadership, Morocco has recorded significant progress, including GDP growth of 3.7% in 2023 and a projected 5% in 2026. The journey of a pioneer in impact-driven economics is detailed in this report.
As Morocco's Minister of Economy and Finance under the leadership of King Mohammed VI, Nadia Feta Alaoui has been driving economic reforms, investment strategy and overseeing the kingdom's fiscal and financial policy since 2021. The first woman to hold this strategic position in Morocco's history, she was named Best Finance Minister in 2025 in recognition of her efforts to strengthen economic stability and boost investment. At 55, Nadia Feta has established herself as one of the leading figures in Morocco's economic governance. Regarding Morocco under the visionary leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, we move quickly but never alone. Our national trajectory is inseparable from that of the continent. For over 20 years, our ambition has been clear: grow with Africa, invest with Africa, succeed with Africa. In her role, the Minister of Economy emphasizes Morocco's economic transformation. In 2023, hosting the annual meetings of the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund in Marrakesh, the first in Africa in 50 years, reinforced Morocco's position as a strategic financial and diplomatic hub. With an estimated GDP growth of 3.7% in 2023, Morocco, Africa's fifth largest economy, aims for 5% growth by 2026. For Nadia Feta Alaoui, it is also imperative to maintain the pace of long-term reforms and development projects in key sectors such as innovation and high-value-added industries to enhance economic competitiveness. On the sidelines of the annual meetings of the World Bank and IMF being held in Africa for the first time in 50 years, it seemed important to us to hold a high-level ministerial meeting on financing Africa's emergence. It was an external, fruitful, and significant exchange aimed at declaring loudly that Africa's emergence is at the heart of every country's strategy on the continent, and that regional integration and African cooperation are also central to our strategies, particularly in Morocco, under the enlightened vision of His Majesty. Her leadership and structural reforms such as the e-finance platform and the Finance for Her program have produced tangible impacts over 500,000 online transactions and access to microcredit for 20,000 women entrepreneurs around 2024-2025, strengthening the country's economic competitiveness and inclusion. Moreover, as former Minister of Tourism, Handcrafts and Air Transport, Morocco's tourism sector under her leadership recorded a record 3 million arrivals in 2019, a 5.2% increase compared to 2018. We must mobilize more African capital first to finance our African economies with partners who respect our priorities, understand them and support them. The future of the global economy will pass through this continent. Those who invest today will be the leaders of tomorrow. With extensive experience in the private sector and as director of the Moroccan Investment Fund, Nadia Feta Alaoui exemplifies through her career the emergence of new profiles at the highest levels of government and a model of success on the continent.
Operating in 26 countries worldwide with nearly 6,000 branches and 12 million clients, Ati Jari Wafa Bank Group reported more than 150 billion dirhams in March 2026 and consolidated equity of 80.5 billion dirhams in 2025. The Deputy CEO outlines the group's key priorities in this report.
The Attijari Wafa Bank Group is implementing an investment strategy in Africa based on regional integration, customer proximity, and the exploitation of synergies. With a presence of 26 countries, the group serves over 20 million customers and have a network of nearly 5,900 branches. Its ambition is to harmonize standards while capitalizing on local expertise. We still have a great deal to do across the 15 countries where we operate, as our vision is to offer the very best of the Attijari Wafa Bank Group in every country we serve. We have often grown through acquisitions and now hold assets that possesses the strength I would say they have built up over the previous history. At the heart of this strategy, the bank is focusing on consistent customer experience and modernized banking services. In sub-Saharan Africa, it is strengthening its digital offerings and supports for SMEs while consolidating its position in key markets such as Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Egypt. The group's net banking income exceeds 30 billion dirhams, confirming its financial strength. Our top priority is really that whether we are based in Benin, Egypt, Congo, or Senegal, our customers feel they are receiving the same level of service as those in Morocco. The expansion strategy is also based on a rigorous selection of opportunities. Attijari Wafa Bank focuses on markets where it can make a lasting impact through its expertise, particularly in infrastructure, financing, and financial inclusion. With over 20,000 employees, the group is strengthening the transfer of skills between its African subsidiaries to support growth. It depends both on the opportunities available and on our strengths and capabilities. Are we capable of making a difference in a new market? Are we capable of transferring a certain number of skills that are useful for that country? Is it based on these questions and the appropriate answers that we decide to prioritize one course of action over another? On an international scale, the group is a leading Pan-African banking player with a presence in Europe and the Middle East as well. Listed on the Cassablanca Stock Exchange, the group has the highest market capitalization, standing at over 150 billion dirhams in March 2026. Attijari Wafa Bank reported consolidated equity of 80.50 billion dirhams at the end of 2025 and a net profit attributable to the group of 10.6 billion dirhams, up 16.2% compared with 2024.
The first Moroccan car manufacturer to obtain national certification and launch industrial production, Neo Motors aims to produce 5,000 vehicles per year and strengthen the Made in Morocco label. Founder and CEO Nassim Belkhayat shares the company's strategic pillars in this exclusive interview.
Neo Motors, a 100% Moroccan automobile manufacturer, what is the impact on Africa's automotive potential?
J'apprécie beaucoup cette question parce qu'elle me rappelle ce qui nous a motivés. C'était le rêve de deux jeunes associés de créer une marque marocaine, une marque africaine, créer un premier constructeur automobile marocain qui est bien évidemment lié à la haute vision royale qui a plus de 25 ans a décidé de mettre en place un écosystème industriel à travers les plans d'accélération industrielle, à travers le port Tanger-Med, à travers la formation des jeunes, à travers le fait d'attirer des grands constructeurs qui fait aujourd'hui du Maroc le premier constructeur automobile africain et un hub de qualité reconnu à l'échelle mondiale en tant que pays best cost. C'est cet écosystème qui a permis l'émergence et la création de ce premier constructeur automobile, Neo Motors, qui a vu le jour officiellement le jour de la réception du 15 mai 2023, où Sa Majesté le roi Mohammed VI a eu la bienveillance de me recevoir en tant que jeune Marocain ayant réussi ce challenge et encourager sa jeunesse à défier, à remplir ce challenge de créer des marques africaines capables de répondre aux besoins locaux, mais aussi de s'exporter.
Your Ain Awda factory aims for a production capacity of 27,000 vehicles per year. What are your priorities for achieving this objective?
Écoutez, effectivement, on considère qu'aujourd'hui le Maroc est connecté à ses racines africaines. Et on sait que les pays frères sont friands des produits made in Morocco, fabriqués au Maroc, qui sont aujourd'hui gages de qualité, gages de sécurité, gages de fiabilité et des marques appréciées partout en Afrique. Donc nos véhicules faits pour une clientèle marocaine ont aussi été pensés comme un véhicule africain. On est persuadé que ce véhicule thermique qu'on a déjà livré aux Marocains connaîtra un bel avenir dans les prochaines années en Afrique. Mais on a aussi très récemment annoncé le jour de la Journée nationale d'industrie un petit véhicule électrique qu'on a pensé répondre aux besoins de financement africain et on a un véhicule à moins de 10 000 $, électrique, 100% électrique, qui a une autonomie de 150 km et qui roule à 85 km/h et qui peut se recharger avec une simple prise de courant de 220 volts. Et bien, ce véhicule est le pur produit de notre stratégie de remanufacturing souverain. On part de plateformes éprouvées que l'on recertifie aux standards européens, que l'on remanufacture re-engineering ici au Maroc, où on utilise l'écosystème automobile marocain qui aujourd'hui est très fort, de plus de 300 entreprises et qui permet aujourd'hui de pouvoir créer un véhicule à plus de 40% d'intégration locale. Et je peux vous dire que même la batterie de ce véhicule aujourd'hui électrique est fabriquée chez Neo Motors à Rabat. Donc c'est ce savoir-faire-là que l'on va partager en distribuant très prochainement ce nouveau véhicule électrique en Afrique et en Europe.
What positioning is Neo Motors aiming for in a rapidly growing national and continental automotive market?
L'automobile génère et draine plus de 250 000 emplois directs dans les entreprises, des emplois qualifiés, des emplois formés, des emplois qui bénéficient de couverture et d'assurance maladie et de très haute technicité. Neo Motors non seulement s'inscrit dans cette dynamique, mais n'oublions pas, il y a 3 ans, nous étions un PowerPoint. Et aujourd'hui, nous sommes à plus de 115 emplois, avec une stratégie de montée en puissance cette année à plus de 300 emplois dans l'automobile électrique, mais aussi dans la fabrication de batteries. Donc on s'inscrit dans cette dynamique de création d'emplois, où on recrute des jeunes, où on les forme à notre processus de montage automobile et de fabrication. On y participe en créant un écosystème de fournisseurs qui, eux, ne peuvent pas aujourd'hui atteindre ces grands constructeurs, mais ont un savoir-faire qualifié et aujourd'hui travaillent avec Neo Motors. On les monte en process et en qualité et en certification pour peut-être leur permettre à eux aussi, ces entreprises qui sont des emplois indirects de Neo Motors, travailler avec des entreprises, des géants comme Renault, comme Stellantis ou d'autres.
What is Neo Motors' export strategy in response to strong automotive demand in Africa and which markets are targeted?
Alors aujourd'hui, Neo Motors est totalement aligné avec cette stratégie de passer au tout électrique, à une énergie propre et à une énergie accessible. Donc on vient, comme je vous l'ai dit, de développer un premier véhicule électrique qui est accessible et abordable même en termes de prix, ou en termes d'innovation, on est parvenu à re-engineering la batterie du véhicule ici au Maroc, mais aussi le BMS, qui est le management system qui contrôle la batterie et qui communique avec la voiture. Donc il y a un volet innovation, engineering qu'on intègre ici, et c'est cette nouvelle batterie, ces nouvelles voitures que l'on va permettre, en vendant nos voitures en Afrique, on va aussi faire ce transfert de savoir-faire à nos partenaires pour pouvoir gérer le SAV, service après-vente, pouvoir communiquer une proximité de service auprès de leurs clients, permettre à d'autres entreprises d'acheter nos produits ou transférer à notre tour ce savoir-faire à d'autres entreprises. Donc nous sommes alignés avec cette transition écologique où, n'oubliez pas, le Maroc est devenu une puissance même en termes de production de batteries. On a des géants de l'écosystème, de la chaîne de valeur, de la fabrication de la batterie qui s'installe au Maroc. Les cathodes, les anodes, la matière première, le raw material que sont le lithium ou le cobalt sont aujourd'hui produits, extraits et vont être raffinés au Maroc. Donc c'est toute cette chaîne de valeur qui nous a encouragés à investir la technologie des véhicules électriques.
How does Neo Motors plan to strengthen local integration, particularly with local small and medium-sized enterprises?
Écoutez, à travers Neo Motors, c'est le rêve d'une Afrique et d'un Maroc industriel, avant tout. Donc on a une vision de devenir un complexe industriel, non seulement créateur d'emplois, mais créateur de valeur ajoutée et qui renforce la marque marocaine qu'est Neo Motors. Donc nous investissons lourdement financièrement, nous investissons dans le capital humain, dans la formation de nos équipes. Nous ne perdons pas de temps à essayer de produire des éléments nouveaux, mais nous réingénierons des choses existantes et nous les intégrons au niveau local et faisons travailler tout un écosystème de fournisseurs locaux pour nous approprier cette technologie. Et nous avons une voie où, je pense, non seulement la marque sera forte, mais nous allons passer à une capacité de production plus élevée grâce à cette stratégie de remanufacturing souverain.
The 2026 Fairs Festival of World Sacred Music, one of Morocco's major cultural and spiritual events, will take place from June 4 to 7, 2026 in Fairs. This annual event highlights sacred musical traditions from around the world in the historic venues of the city under the high patronage of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. The 29th edition of the festival will spotlight the role of master artisans and musicians in the transmission of the kingdom's cultural and spiritual heritage. The 5th edition of the Moroccan Corporate Sports Games will take place from June 5 to 7, 2026 in Cassablanca. These corporate sporting events are now opening up internationally with more than 3,000 participants expected from around 15 countries, organized under the auspices of the General Confederation of Moroccan Enterprises and Moroccan Federation of Sports Professionals. The JMSE 2026 will feature a wide range of disciplines, including 5-a-side football, 3x3 basketball, tennis, chess, and esports. The objective of this event is to promote competition, team cohesion, and intercultural exchanges.
Cassablanca, Morocco's economic and industrial hub, combines urban growth with rich history. This dynamic metropolis is investing in cultural and leisure activities to enhance quality of life and the urban experience for its nearly 5 million residents and visitors. Discover the dynamic spirit and rich heritage of Cassablanca through an immersive journey.
Economic and industrial capital of Morocco, Cassablanca is a dynamic metropolis covering 384 kilometers square with a population of 5 million. Located on the Atlantic coast, it is a crossroads where modernity blends with a rich historical heritage, a true national economic engine, and a major regional logistics hub. Cassablanca captivates with its urban vibrancy and contemporary infrastructure, exemplified by its skyscrapers and strategic port. Its strong cultural identity and architectural heritage coexist harmoniously with its role as a rapidly growing metropolis, as reflected in the lively atmosphere of its corniche. When it comes to a metropolis, traffic is often under pressure with frequent jams, but thanks to these works, the situation has improved. Cassablanca, at the heart of the international economic and urban development strategy, is seeing infrastructure projects that include the modernization of road networks, industrial zones, and public spaces, strengthening its position as an economic and technological hub. The city is also focusing on the development of cultural and leisure activities, enhancing the quality of life and urban experience for both residents and visitors. Cassablanca is improving and developing in terms of roads and green spaces. As part of a national plan worth 96 billion dirhams on September 24, 2025, His Majesty King Mohammed VI launched in Cassablanca, Morocco's economic capital and industrial hub, a 20 billion dirham railway program. This project modernizes urban and regional mobility with 3 multimodal stations, 10 local stations, and 92 kilometers of lines, offering a train every 7.5 minutes, thanks to the acquisition of 48 train sets with 1,000 seats each. The King officially inaugurated the new local lines serving the Cassablanca region. This ambitious project, focused on the Mohammed Nasser corridor, includes the deployment of local trains and involves significant works. These works include the addition of 260 kilometers of railway tracks, the construction of new local stations and major stations, as well as the creation of maintenance workshops. Bringing together industry, services, and international trade, Cassablanca remains the economic heart of Morocco. Its role as a national engine enables it to strengthen its regional influence and position itself as a model of dynamic and sustainable urban development, combining modernity, attractiveness, and industrial innovation.
Intra-African cooperation is the foundation of the continent's future prosperity. Thank you for your loyalty to Morocco Africa, the first 360-degree magazine, TV, digital and print, promoting Morocco's royal vision for Africa. Watch Morocco Africa on Africa 24, Africa 24 English, on the My Africa 24 app, the leading HD streaming platform in Africa, and across all our social media platforms.